For a while, I've kind of wanted to address this whole swirling thing or whatever. I'm not actually against interracial marriage. You dig who you dig, but one thing I am against is just false, deception. I'm not into that. And people that think that because you marry another race that it's going to be greener on the other side, you have a reality check. You need to marry a person for who they are and their character and their willingness to not only love you, but also to love where you come from as a family and your community, and realize the reality of your situation as a black person. And I guess I'm mainly speaking to my people on this. I'm not anybody's professional, but I'm just giving my opinion, because I've seen all this stuff online where it's just like, oh yeah, man, if black men are bad and stuff, just go after white men and stuff like that, or any other men. Nothing's wrong with like you dating anyone else, but the thing is, don't demonize us in the process. I think it's very unfair. You putting all black people or all black men into one category. And the same thing with black men. You do the same thing to black women too. That's not cool, because to say something that all black women are a certain way is just as bad as a black woman saying the same thing about us. But don't think that you have a savior because you date another race and that person's going to save you from basically like the reality of what humanity's potential can be, good or bad. So anyone, I don't care who the heck you're talking about, anyone could be bad. It doesn't matter what race they're from. If you're dating someone because you think that the grass is greener on the other side, the grass is pretty much the same. The fact is, it's just grass, dude. And it doesn't matter how green or non-green, it's still grass. The fact that the grass could also wither up and grow back again should tell you something. So, I don't really get into, I don't know, how could I say this? I don't demonize people because they date outside their race. I myself am very open. I have specific people that, or specific, just vibes that I would like for a lady. And no, I'm not anti-black woman. Yes, I date black women. People automatically think I date white women because of the way I talk and how I look. I seriously date black women, if they date me. But I'm open to like other opportunities too. My thing is this: if you're going to date interracially, date consciously. And what I mean by that is like that person needs to be aware of everything about you and your culture, and you should be aware about them. And that person should be able to vouch for you and ride for you no matter what. I don't believe in this Christine Carolazan or whatever, this chick beyond black and white. That's a false reality. There's things that we still deal with in this country, racism and all that. So race mixing will not fix anything. People have been race mixing for thousands of years, and many different types of people have come out of that. Even in America itself, it still didn't remedy racism. There's still a top, whites on the top and blacks on the bottom, and everything else is in between, and even biracial people have been included in that. I also look at biracial people in the context of blackness as well. How them also, many biracial blacks, I'm saying, a lot of them have been through many of the same things that we do, but that's another conversation. Anyway, back to what I was saying. I don't buy into, oh yeah, the more you mix it up, the more you swirl it up, the more things will be remedied. That's a falsehood. It's a farce. I mean, like I said, thousands of years people have been doing that, and it's the same stratification. It's the same pecking order. The thing is you have to face the reality about racism in itself. People still get discriminated against because they're dark. It's just, and lighter is always looked on as good. So that won't remedy anything. If anything, you should educate your kids, if you have biracial kids, about the realities of what goes on in this world, let alone this country, and how things are. I know couples like this, and I'm just saying that because I think it's important. People lose sight of what the reality of being not only just in an interracial relationship, but just in a relationship with any human being. And the race thing, of course, is just another thing that could play into that mix. So yeah, I don't know. I'm curious what you think about it. I'm sure people probably don't agree with me as far as like, I don't mind people mixing their race or whatever. But I do mind dating and not having the consideration and respect for yourself as a person, let alone the other person, you know. You got to cautiously date in that regard too, which is why a lot of people, especially in black society, are against it because of just things that have happened, especially when concerning black and white. A lot of things have happened, and those things need to seriously be considered. If you really love someone, you're going to ride for that person, you know, either way. For me being a black person, I would say this to anyone, especially if your significant other is white, they need to seriously understand where you're coming from. They may not, but they really need to consider where you are and how the history leads up to a lot of current issues. And they need to be your ally in fighting against those negative things and those issues. I know some people that actually have that mindset and they're down like that, but it's very few couples like that. You know, if you have any questions, please let me know. I think I heard that Anna chick from the Young Turks mention something about the same thing. Everybody thinks you're going to mix everything up and everything's going to be good. It's not. I'm sorry. Date consciously.